What's in a name? Everything. The power of a name has long been immortalized in prose, poetry, and history. It is your face to the world, your ambassador of quality that reflects your ideals and aspirations. Thompson's, a name, a family, a tradition of excellence. So it is with Thompson's Toyota, where our professional and courteous staff are eager to help you drive home your dream vehicle from the largest selection of new and used Toyota cars and trucks at the best prices. And if your vehicle needs service, our Toyota factory-trained and certified service technicians have the skill and expertise to do the job right and do it right the first time. Thompson's Toyota, where you'll always be treated like family.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Today we're going to the legendary Clearwater River in Idaho for some fantastic steelhead fishing. If you want to learn some side drifting and back trolling techniques, plus experience an incredible day on the water, then stay tuned. I'm Justin Wolf, and this is Angler West Television. We're on the Clearwater River with guide Mel Stottlemyre Jr., who has his dad, Mel Stottlemyre Sr., hooked up with a Clearwater River steelhead. If you're a baseball fan, then you know Mel Stottlemyre as a former New York Yankees pitcher and longtime pitching coach. But now he's retired and enjoying the amazing fishing on the Clearwater. Also fishing today is Mel's grandson Colton, associate guide Brian Miller, and Steve Lynch of Procure.
It's worked out perfect because this is our last pass. So we picked one up. Perfect way to end the day.
And that's the last fish of a double-digit day of steelhead fishing. The day started before sunrise at the Little Canyon Shooting Ranch, which is a great place to stay if you like to hunt pheasants or chukars, and also if you want to fish the nearby Clearwater River. After a great breakfast, we launch the boat and prepare our baits. Side drifting or back trolling eggs or shrimp are the favorite techniques for this river. But today, we're going to begin with eggs.
What I like to do is, once I get out on the boat, I've cured up my eggs the night before with, these happen to be the tuna cure. And I'll bring them out in the morning, just prior to heading out with my group. And you can see they've been in a jar here where they've cured overnight. I've actually placed them in a refrigerator and got the texture and the firmness the way that I like them. And I'll pour them out of a jar here. You can see where I've butterflied them and opened them up and allowed the cure to get inside the membranes and inside the berries. And I'll cut them in small clusters. And this time of year, with the water low and clear, I like to keep the clusters on the smaller side. When the flows get up and a little higher and the fish move into the deep hole, I'll cut them a little bit bigger. For today's purposes, we're going to cut them a little bit on the smaller side, a thumbnail size. So I'll just take and cut them into quarter size clusters, maybe a little smaller. And then I'm going to take some borax, and I like the pink. Probably more so for my eyes, aesthetically. And I'm just going to sprinkle it on top of the eggs to get it in there and mix it up. And the borax is going to suck any extra moisture up. You can see that they were slightly on the wet side. So what the borax is going to do is going to suck up any of the extra moisture and toughen the eggs up. Okay, this first little hole right here, most of the fish will lay right down off that point, but sometimes we're going to get them to this side of this little, kind of the fast water. You'll want to throw to this side. All right, grab your sticks. On this particular river, for whatever reason, it's a very soft, subtle bite. And what I like to tell people is initially, once you think you have a bite, count to 3. They're barbless hooks and set the hook. Okay, line's out. Okay, when we pull up to the top of a run, we want to try to angle our rods slightly upriver out at a 45, and then I'll keep the motor to where the lines are off to the side, fishing the inside of a riffle, and not letting them get back behind me where they got a chance to set down hard on the bottom and hang up. And we're just ticking along the bottom. We're bouncing along the bottom, and these fish will they'll stop the bait before they decide to take it, and they'll do that softly. And at that point, when they bend the rod a little bit, we'll set the hook, and hopefully we'll have a fish on.
Yeah. Wow, for as far as these fish have gone upriver, they've got a lot of fight left in them.
They do.
Yeah, you know, my prediction come true anyway. I predicted we'd get a fish out of this hole. But I think he was headed for my line, and you know, somehow he got on yours.
That's not the first time I stole the fish from somebody, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, I am an addict, so whatever it takes.
All right, well, let's use the boat and take a peek at him.
Usually I'm not invited 2 times in a row.
Welcome back to the Clearwater River. I'm Justin Wolf. We're side drifting for steelhead, and Steve Lynch of Procure has the first hookup of the day.
Usually I'm not invited 2 times in a row.
These fish travel 400 miles and through quite a few dams to get here. And they still have a lot of fight in them, as you can see.
Oh, shoot. Whoa! I'm going to release it anyways. So, as long as I got to see it, that's all that counts. Yep. That's how it goes. It's just going back anyways.
Barbless.
What we got here is a 2-hook system, and I'm just putting eggs on the top hook. Got a corky up above it, and I'm just letting the bottom hook just dangle free.
And the fish here in our river, typically the average size is going to be 12 to 14 pounds. I think on that one there, Steve probably had a 20-plus pounder. But anyway, it's catch and release. You'll notice on the double hook, with the soft bite, a lot of the times we'll hook them up on that second hook, and it seems to help when the fish are biting really subtly and soft. We're using the P-Line CX. It's in the high vis, which I personally like, especially when you're fishing clients every day. It gives me an opportunity to run my boat off their lines, and a lot of times with these fish being such a soft bite, most of the time I'll detect the bite a little sooner than the client, and I can let them know to get ready to set the hook. But it gives me a better opportunity to run the boat and keep their lines fishing, you know, in the proper spot for me, being able to see the line. Nice fish, Colt. Colton got about a 10-pounder, 30-inch fish. Looks like a hen. Nice wild female. Nice fish, Colt.
Showed old Gramps just exactly how to do it. Now I know, so I'll be getting one.
Fish on.
These fish really do bite light, so I like a rod with a really, really light tip, soft tip. Lets them hold on to it for a little while.
Oh yeah. Well, my turn's coming up, and I'm letting them catch a few smaller ones. I've got a real hog out there somewhere waiting on me.
That's strike one. That's what you call a swing and a miss.
Go right under his head.
Oh, nope.
There you go.
Okay, leave it in the water, Colt.
Whew.
Nice 14, 15 pound male. You can see he still has the adipose, which makes it a wild fish. Get it back in the water here. Brian just caught that fish up there in the same hole where we hooked the other one. And Brian is one of our full-time guides and part of Team Stotts. Obviously a great fisherman, as you saw, and good friend of the family. But he's on our team, and we're glad to have him. It was a nice 15-pound clearwater fish.
Kind of amazing, you know, we fish these same fish on the John Day. They kind of come in out of the Columbia Mill around, and there's guys that'll fish eggs all day and not get bit. I mean, it's either coon shrimp or a wigglewort white. But up here, it seems pretty much all egg. So
especially in the fall.
same fish, different river, it's just kind of screwy.
Yeah. These fish, depending on the flow and the temperature, and they'll do some different things. They'll go on and off the eggs.
Yep.
Sometimes they get hot on the coon shrimp, and then there's other times that the yarn,
Yep.
with our scent will be as good as any. But typically speaking, it's the eggs seem to be the best thing to use here on this river. Net down, Colt. Okay, lift up. Lift. All right. Nice.
Good job. It's pretty crazy here for Saturday, beautiful day. There's no competition. There's no boats on the water. And we haven't seen a boat all day. And there's plenty of fish. So.
Another great fish there, Pops.
Yeah, well, I had to wait a while, but it was worthwhile waiting for.
You've been familiar with these things over here.
This is worth my 5-hour drive.
We're in western Idaho on the Clearwater River when we're off to a great start.
Another great fish there, Pops.
Former Yankees pitcher and pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre Sr. has his first fish of the day in the boat,
Here's a fish. Reel it up, tighten it up.
with number 2 on the way.
We got Senior hooked up with another fish here.
Yeah, I don't think he's as big as the last one, but
It's a fish.
it's a fish, and you never know when it gets to look at this boat. All these heads in here, it might really go right for the middle. You can't tell.
It's been about 2 minutes since we caught that last one. First cast out. Picked up another.
Yeah, well, you know what? I cheated. I waited for that right spot.
Nice big old hen.
And strike one. I'm going to give you another shot right here.
Oh boy.
Nice job, Colty.
Boy,
Nice
Colt.
job, buddy.
You know, this is one of these rivers that I've wanted to come fish my whole life, but I've just for some reason or another never made it here. You know, especially with the John Day being so much closer. But I tell you what, I sure am glad I came, and I'll come back in the future.
That's important. Will you be back?
We've had 6 fish in less than an hour, and all of them have been quality fish. So, and I don't think we've gone a mile upstream from where we put in. So,
No, we haven't.
yeah, this is like I said, I just wish I'd have come here sooner.
This would be a hatchery fish if we were allowed to keep them. Right now, we can't keep a fish under or over 28 inches, so you can see the adipose is missing, but it's a nice female.
I noticed you guys have been picking on the males, and I finally had to, pick on a female here. My wife might not like that, but nevertheless, it's a beautiful fish. It was a lot of fun catching. Let's turn it back in.
All right, nice fish, Pops.
I can't believe it's been traveling.
Yeah, we've got just about 6 fish the last hour, and that's normal for this river here. And this guide, Junior's pretty good about this river, hooking the fish for us. But I can recall back when I was younger, I'd fish all day and hope that I got one on my line, and used to always lose them. But this kind of spoils a guy sometimes. This time of year, no boat traffic or anything like that. And here we are, we're just, we're hooking fish just pretty much every drift.
Anyway, Steve, hooking into your first Clearwater fish?
Second, I lost my
Your
first.
second one, right.
Yeah.
Looks like another male there, Steve. Ooh, big fish. Woo! Get a coat. Oh, it's hung up in the. Wow,
Very nice.
big fish.
Yeah, that's not a bad fish at all. I'll take it. I said that was long between fish either. I mean, not even 5 minutes.
No, I know it seems like longer though, doesn't it, when you're hooking them as fast as we have been.
That was my first cast. This one was with, we were using eggs, and I've got the Anna's tuna oil on it.
Little anise tuna.
Oh, you snuck some of your goodies on there. That
And I don't know if that made it grab harder.
yeah, that one there. I watched it when it took it down. There was nothing soft about it. That's nice when they do that.
You better come back and hold him, man.
Nice fish.
That one gets to go back to the hatchery and do its thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna bring lots of other fish back for us.
Beautiful.
Go do your thing, fish. Go do your thing.
Hey Steve, when you land your first fish on my boat, you get a hot rag. It's like being on an airplane.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
It's only customary for first timers catching a fish on our river. They get a hot washcloth.
You haven't got a mile stretch of this water. Right? That's
Nobody out, I know it.
No pressure. I can't believe that.
Welcome back to the Clearwater River. I'm Justin Wolf. We're with guide Mel Stottlemyre Jr. And so far, we're hooking up every pass with beautiful steelhead that have navigated the Columbia and Snake Rivers to get here.
You can see this is a little smaller fish. This is an A run. This fish is lost. This fish should be back in the Snake River.
That's a hatchery
Little
too,
hatchery.
right?
You can see the adipose
Yeah.
is missing there. Male, got the red stripe, and the hook jaw on the bottom there. We're going to throw him back and let him send back to the snake for somebody else. Okay, the Clearwater here is a tributary of the Snake River, and we're about 35 miles upriver out of Lewiston. Lewiston, Idaho is 2 hours from Tri-Cities, a couple hours from Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 5 hours from Portland and Seattle. And the headwaters originate up in Montana. And the Selway and the Locksaw join together, and then they make up what is the Clearwater and gives us our wonderful fishery. All right, fellas, we made a pass where we didn't touch a fish, and so I think it's time to move downriver and find some fresh water. Good chance of hooking up here. I'll pull over and. Okay, we've moved downriver a little bit, and we're going to change up our techniques, a little different method. We're going to target more of the fish that are laying on what I call the back third, the back tier of a run in the tail outs. And so we're going to back troll, and we're going to stick these shrimp right on top of the fish. These are a mud bug diver, and we have a 5-foot leader here. That's fluorocarbon, and in this particular one, you see we have a smile blade, and the bead that will help float the bait up. And we actually have a piece of wire in there that will make sure that the shrimp is head down, and will enter into the tail end of the shrimp. And we actually put the hook in the head of the shrimp. And this is the new prawn cure from the Pro Cure that we dyed up last night that we're going to give it a try. Fish on! Steve,
Yes, sir?
this is on the prawn cure that we dyed up last night.
Yep, with the garlic tuna.
Using prawns or shrimp for steelhead has become very popular recently all over the Northwest.
Nice female.
Now here's Steve Lynch explaining how to cure those fish-catching prawns.
Yeah, this year ProCure's come out with the shrimp and prawn cure, and we've got it in 3 colors. But today we've done the Fireball Red, and it's super easy. You can either do it in a liquid brine or just in a dry cure. And I'm gonna do this for you real quick. It's gonna take all of about 2 minutes. And then you just lightly sprinkle it. And it's best to do it when the prawns are semi-frozen. So you pull them out of the freezer as they're thawing, they'll draw in all the salts, the amino acid, and the dyes. But all you're gonna do is just lightly mix them, put the lid on it, put them in a shelf in the refrigerator. You can do it overnight, but it's best on the dry mix for 2 days. And so once a day, all you're gonna do is just remix this, but you're gonna find that this is gonna juice up on you. These will turn a nice, brilliant, bright red. And then for the brine method, we're using non-chlorinated water. So this is just water right out of the river here. All I'm gonna do is dump my brine in it. And the key thing is once you add the dye to the water, you want to shake it up, and you want to make sure you've got the right color before you put your baits in it. If it's too deep of a color, it'll come out blotchy. And I really don't go by the color of the water. I stick a paper towel in there, dip it in, and that's my true color on what your baits are going to be. But all you're going to do, dump your coon shrimp, your tiger prawns, whatever bait you're doing, but right now coon shrimp's been the hot ticket. And I put them in a shelf in the refrigerator, and the best is a 3-day process, but you can leave them in here up to 6 weeks. But I'll put them in a shelf in the refrigerator. The next day I will turn it upside down. That way all the chemicals will intermix and go through all the hoods and get everything bright, brilliant red.
All right, you ready?
If you're interested in a trip to the Clearwater River, then call Mel Stottlemyre today.
Ooh, 13 pounds.
And if you have questions about curing your bait,
That's that Anna's tuna.
feel free to contact Steve Lynch at ProCure. Thanks for watching today's episode of Angler West TV. You know, it's only with the sponsor support that this show is made possible, so please thank them when you can. Now get out there and do some great fishing.